1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Beautiful looking Thursday, Robin. I think we should have taken today off. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
Should have been the day we played hooky. It looks pretty nice out there. No, then we wouldn't have got to meet Colleen Pallamary. She's in the studio. We didn't meet her already, and you would have thought we would have, because she was part of the Book Feast 2013 over at the library a Saturday or two ago. Mm-hmm. And there were so many authors involved with that day, that Book Feast, that I guess we just didn't have time to squeeze them all in, but I'm glad she's here today. We can talk about her book. She has a list of credentials. She was awarded the Volunteer of the Year Award from the Florida Attorney General's Office for her work with the Seniors versus Crime Project. She's an instructor for a domestic violence awareness program for female inmates. She's an AHA certified CPR first aid instructor, an extra class ham radio operator.
That's one of my favorites.
Wow. See, you're a ham radio operator, and we're radio hams. So you see, it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
You're a lecturer on scam prevention issues, and I know that's what your book is about. And you're one of the featured writers at I just mentioned that, the Book Feast. The book you've written, very clever title, by the way, Scammunition, How to Protect Yourself from Con Artists, a guide for baby boomers and beyond. I think I'm in that group somewhere. Colleen Pallamary, let me turn around. I don't mean to be rude. I just have to look this way to get everything done. Good morning. Nice to meet you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
My goodness, you're a busy lady. You got a lot of credentials going on.
Well, I try. I'm very passionate about helping people with this whole scam issue.
Yeah.
And I'm from Boston, so it really hit home for me this past week. And trying to stay updated on the scams that were happening immediately after the bombings.
Oh, yes. And isn't that disgusting? People were actually trying to get money from people under the premise that the money was going towards something that was going to help. You know, all of our hearts reached out last week when that bombing happened, and we wanted to help. And I wonder how many of those scam artists were successful.
Many of them were successful, unfortunately. I grew up in Boston. I'm from Dorchester, where that young boy, Martin Richard, is from, the young boy that got killed.
Oh, my goodness.
I belong to a group called OFD. We're originally from Dorchester. And I knew two things after the bombing. I knew, first of all, the people of Boston and Dorchester and everyone would come together and support all of the people that were injured, all of the people that were involved. And I knew the scams would pop up just about immediately, and that's exactly what happened.
So how long have you been a scam awareness person and trying to help people prevent scams? Was it before the internet? Were you involved in this before, like when they were coming in the mail and on the phone and even on the sidewalk maybe?
Yes, I've been doing this for about 10 years. And it's been interesting to keep up with it. I started out as a volunteer office manager with the Seniors versus Crime Project, and we would meet with senior citizens twice a week and help them with the scams. Back then, there were no tablets, there were no smartphones. People were still kind of learning their way around computers. So we had the knock on the door, we've had on the phone, and that all continues today.
And the scam is different. Let's say the scam usually involves you voluntarily agreeing to give money to somebody, as opposed to, let's say, a trick where, or correct me if I'm wrong about this, but let's say I get an email and it says, your bank needs some updated information, click here. Next thing you know, you've set yourself up for something. In other words, they're just stealing from you at that point. You didn't agree to anything, right?
That's correct. As technology has progressed, so have the scams.
Yeah.
And really, I caution people to just take a minute and stop and think about what you're doing.
You know what always gets to me? The one that promises like this, you won $6 million, but you got to send us $6,000 first. I'm amazed that people actually do that. They send 6 or 10 or whatever. It's in the news every now and then.
Yeah, one of the things that happens is, we see these scams pop up periodically, and okay, so here's a warning, this scam is going around, but what do you do about it? How do you prevent that from happening? The things that are going on in Oregon, their list of scams is a little bit different than ours.
Really? Why?
It has to do with the region that you're in. You have scams on in federal laws, you've got state laws, and you've got county regulations, and they all differ. Obviously not the federal and the national. But Oregon right now is seeing an increase in their door-to-door solicitations. Why?
Wow.
Because it's starting to be springtime up there.
Ah.
Obviously down here, not yet with the way global warming's going, but we don't see any snow plowing scams down here.
Yeah, right.
But in Massachusetts and the northern states, you possibly could.
Right.
So it all goes to...
Now, how would a snow plowing scam work? How would that work?
Oh, you could perhaps pay somebody for, a flat fee for plowing your driveway and then have them not show up. There's so many different kinds of scams.
Okay.
Well, we know of a couple down here. They have a house here. They had a big tree in their backyard. This person came to their house and said they cut down their tree and haul it away. They paid them X number of dollars in the beginning, didn't wait till the job was done. He came down, cut down the tree, left everything, and then just left. And it took them a long time to recover that money.
Oh, wow.
Trish?
That's very, very common. Up until a few years ago, the three of us could have pitched in maybe, $3.50 each and started our own tree company and go out and cut trees. I don't know about you, but I don't know anything about cutting down trees.
Right.
So it depends on where you live.
So in
and
other
what
words,
you're doing.
that business license doesn't mean anything to the consumer. It means something to the city because they're supposed to be collecting taxes. But me as a consumer, what do I need to look for? Is there some kind of a certification or a Better Business Bureau or something like that?
It depends on where you live. The licensing varies from county to county even. But yes, you can go to the Better Business Bureau. I mean, I can go and make up a license number and put it on the side of my car. I can make up business cards and say whatever I want on them. And that's what happens with people. People buy disposable phones, and they will solicit your business. So you think you can get them on the phone, and the next thing you know, they've got your money, and they throw the phone in the trash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, are we sometimes scammed through a third party who's also being scammed in order for us to trust them? And I've wondered this about sometimes. Like, let's say I go to a grocery store. I don't want to name one. Let's say I go to a grocery store manager and I say, "Hey, I represent, and I'm the scam artist." But I convince him that I'm real, and I say, "Can I set up my little table outside your door?" And he says, "Sure." Now I go to my favorite grocery store, and there's me, and I'm trying to scam people out of money. But I'm thinking, okay, well, if the manager of this store says it's okay, then I guess it's okay. Does that ever happen with this a third party involved who's also being scammed?
Yes, it happens all the time, and scammers, for the most part, are very clever. So you really have to just take a step back and take a minute and think. We often assume that everybody has computers. Not everyone has computers. There's a large population of people, so they don't know about the scams. Not only that, they don't know what computers are capable of. So if someone shows up at their door with an ID, for instance, let's take veterans because you just had them on.
Right.
Somebody knocks at the door and they have an official-looking badge that says Veterans Counselor, Veterans Assistant.
Right.
Knock, knock. Gee, I'm here to help your veteran. For $50, I'll help him get his records from the VA. They do it all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. VA records are free.
Do you know what I get a lot? I get, this is the Police Benevolent Association or the Florida Highway Patrol Troopers Association.
Yeah.
And they'll ask me for money and they'll just nonstop talking. And I'll say, well, I'll tell you what, I know where your office is. I'll bring a check to you in person. I know exactly where the Highway Patrol office is. I know where the Sheriff's office is, or the Police Department. I know where they are. But they don't want to hear that. They want us to go through their thing, through someplace in Colorado or who knows wherever. By the way, the scam I was questioning was a real one, and I don't know that it was a scam. But Robin and I, we left this grocery store, and normally, there's little girls selling cookies or something. You give $1, $2, $3, something like that. This group, they didn't want to take $1. You had to give like increments of 50.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, you got to be kidding. You mean you are here asking for money and you won't take $1? I'll help you out. You're helping the Boy Scouts or whatever it was. It wasn't Boy Scouts, by the way. But you're helping whoever you say you're helping, and he didn't want to hear it. No,
Yeah.
$50. I was like, holy cow! Well, thank you for that.
Warning sign, warning, warning, that little button. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember. Warning, Will Robinson,
Right.
warning.
Right,
You-
right, right,
It
right.
needs to go off in your
Right,
head. Same
right.
thing if you're doing anything online. Check your URLs very carefully. Scammers oftentimes will misspell something on purpose. Now, there's one thing to play with words. I play with words in my book. I love words. But when you've got a misspelling, say, for instance, an extra letter, if you're going to spell Boston and you're putting in Bostonn,
All right.
you're looking real quick. Oh, yeah, I want to check that out. Click on
Right.
it. There you go.
Yes, that will happen. PayPal, there's a scam with PayPal, and they spell it PayPal.com. So it looks like PayPal.com, but there's an extra dot in there, and that's not the real PayPal.
Exactly. And so you have to be really, really careful of what you're looking at. Now, some of with Boston and with Texas, again, they've already popped up with the Texas explosions and anything like that.
Yeah.
Check it out before you give your money. One of the things I recommend is that if you get a phone call soliciting donations, start asking questions. Well, how much of the money goes to the cause?
Can you take the next step, and let's say we say, I did that, and I'm out $2,000. What do is there any way to get that back, or to at least stop that person from doing it to somebody else?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. One of the things, you can report any phone calls like that to the Federal Trade Commission.
Oh, wow.
And they will open up an investigation. They're very interested in scams. Obviously, law enforcement, if you've got somebody that's on the phone threatening you, again, call law enforcement. Do not call. Register on the do not call. Even if you did it 5 years ago, some of the names and numbers have fallen off. I've just won 10 vacations, a new car, and everything else.
Wow.
So, I'll be out of here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And I'll be collecting the money from my cousin's aunt's relative in some,
Yes, or some king who died in an airplane
right,
crash.
because, yeah.
Yeah, and somehow he named you. I don't know
I
how
know.
that
I don't know
happened.
how that happened either. So,
And
I guess,
with the social media like Facebook, there's an opportunity to list, your relatives and what they are in reference to you. And we've had people in our community, they've been scammed because somebody says, I'm a friend of your grandson, Mike. My car broke down. I have to get this, my tire went flat. I got to get a new tire. Can you help me out? And they'll start answering, say things to make the grandparent think that they are familiar, like they really are friends. They'll give them money and then they're gone. And, might not be a whole lot of money, maybe $50 here, $50 there, but by the time they're done, they've got quite a stash.
social media is a very, very powerful tool, and it does a lot of good, but it also can do a lot of harm, like you're saying. I have a very good friend of mine whose mother was contacted in the middle of the night. She's 85 years old, saying that the person on the other end of the phone was a friend of her granddaughter's, and that her
Oh.
granddaughter was stuck in somewhere, had a car accident. They needed $5,000, and she went to the bank to withdraw the money, and something said to her, wait a minute. That really didn't sound like,
Wow, good for her.
yeah, and she stopped, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They don't know the scams are out there. I mean, we like to think, the best of people, but, you have to really stay educated.
Don't trust anybody. Yeah. I won a car, according to a phone call one time. And I said, you know what? I have a car. Could you find somebody else who really needs one and give it to that person? But thank you for the car. They didn't want to give it to anybody else.
Lucky you.
But I did. I said, I don't know if this is real or not. I have no way of knowing. Oh, you can check us out online. They can't hold this stuff. I said, well, I'll tell you why. If you are for real, that's awesome. I'm glad I won a car. But to be honest, I don't need one. I'm happy with the one I have. There's got to be somebody out there who could use a car.
And they probably just didn't even know what to think about that. They probably sat scratching their head.
I'm sure that was a scam, but I just, but, and let me ask you that question. How do you know? I mean, let's say you get a call. What do you do to check it out? To make sure it is real?
Well, one of the things, I've gotten, the free vacation telephone calls. You entered a contest. Well, you know what? No, I didn't.
Yeah, but what
And
if
I know
you
that.
did? What if
and
you
what
did?
if you did?
Yeah.
Then somehow they got a hold of your phone number, and I just don't trust anybody. I mean, I've seen too many things. I've talked to too many people. I've seen the pain all of these scams have caused. I'm just very skeptical.
By the
about
way, you know what
everything.
I think is just as much of a scam as the ones you're talking about, the real legitimate ones. But I think this is just as much a scam. You go to a store or something, and they've got a picture of a beautiful beach in the Caribbean somewhere, okay? And it says, enter to win a trip to this beach. Okay, so you fill out the thing, you put it in the little basket, and then a couple days later you get a call. And it says, Larry, did you enter this contest over at CVS Pharmacy or at Walgreens? I don't want to name one. I shouldn't have done that. But you entered it at the store, and it's to win a trip to Fiji. Fiji.
Fiji.
What's Fiji? Tahiti.
Fiji. You
All right.
eat those.
So I say, yes, I did enter that. Well, I've got good news. Now, you didn't win the grand prize, but you won a voucher, and all you have to do is come down and talk to us. So next thing you know, you're talking to somebody about buying a timeshare or something like that. To me, I think that's just as much a scam.
Yes, they're taking advantage of you because then there's going to be something else down the line. Well, you only need to put down a $500 down payment, and then this, that, and the other thing. And I don't personally. I don't fill out those things. I don't enter the contest because I know that
I don't either anymore, but I did when I was
yes,
younger.
Because why would you not? Why would you not?
Yeah. You're going to win a prize. Because, well, see, in radio, we really do give away prizes.
Yeah.
And it's easy. Like, for example, right now, we've got 2-3 day passes to Disney World we're giving away every Monday. And I know they're real. I see them. The boss has them. Okay? So, I mean, I know it's real. So I said, well, why wouldn't a trip to, what they call Tahiti?
Yeah,
Whatever.
Tahiti.
To some, beautiful island. Why wouldn't that be real? It could be, but it's not. So.
Did your book manifest itself from your volunteer work with the Seniors versus Crime Project? Is that why you were inspired to write this?
Yes, because I saw again so many people being hurt and scared, really truly scared from being scammed. What do you do? I mean, what I wanted to do is try to have a resource book. If your aunt in Colorado is having a problem, where does she go? Well, you don't know because you're here in Florida. So here's a resource. Well, you know what? You can pick up the book and say,
oh, wow, that's great.
Okay, this is where you need to call Auntie.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's in the book as well.
That's in the book as well.
Okay.
And the more I kept seeing these same scams over and over and over again.
Right.
After I was done volunteering, I just kind of kept track of it. And then, again, we didn't have social media back then.
Right.
So now we've got people with, I got a text a couple of months ago that said I won a $1,000 gift card from a big retailer, and I had the money spent before I even finished reading the text. I was so excited, and then I went,
yeah,
wait
right.
a minute.
And you're the Scammunition lady, so
yeah.
you
So I was like,
after this interview, we have a young man coming in. You were sitting next to him, and,
Yes.
and he's going to talk about what he does for a living with air conditioning units. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's obviously legit, but how do we know when somebody knocks on our door and they say, I had one come to my house one time with ADT. Because I have an ADT system. So they say, I'm with ADT. I'm here to check your system. I said, well, how do I know you with ADT? I mean, shouldn't there be something that indicates you're with ADT? And he had a card. So I said, well, don't check anything. I don't need anything checked. Because he wanted to come in and check it. I said, you don't need to come in and check anything. And, but I'm, kind of an intimidating figure a little bit, but somebody who's not. I mean, you never know, right? See, I wouldn't even open the door. I would tell a little lady, you don't even open the door.
well, it's funny. We have somebody in my neck of the woods that goes around selling meat off the back of a pickup truck, this rusty old banged up pickup truck.
Oh, I
and
met
you're not
that
gonna-
guy,
Okay,
too.
so you know
Yeah.
that guy. So he
Well,
kept
one of
coming to my
them.
house, and I said, hey. And he said, well, I got great deals. I got great deals. And I just looked at him and I said, well, you know what? I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, good for you. I never
And so
thought
they
of
don't
that.
stop at the house anymore. So, because it's like,
So you
don't
scammed
talk
the
to her.
scammer.
I scammed the scammer, yeah. One of the things that you could do is to call the company and call ADT. Do you have people canvassing the neighborhood? Because I've seen them too, and I've been getting phone calls from them.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
I am on the do not call, but sometimes they slip through. Mm-hmm. And and then what you can do I have a package bundle with one of the companies with my internet and TV and phone. I can go online and block the numbers online. So that's an option a lot of people don't know they have. Not all companies have
I
that.
didn't know that. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
And so
And
they
that's
stop.
that information's in the book too?
Yes, I've got what happens if you need to hire a caregiver for your mom who's in New Hampshire? What do you do? Who do you hire?
Oh,
How do
there
you
you
know who, what do you need? What kind of licensing do they have?
Yeah, right. Well, that's the thing too. That licensing thing. If there was a way to check them, for example, a phony handyman or somebody who's coming to fix something or anything. I mean, yeah, just knowing in advance, just the tree story Robin told. I mean, that would be helpful, I guess, to know that information in advance. At least you knew, who to call later on if it didn't happen, if they didn't fulfill their obligation.
True, and you also have state licensing, and you can go online for. But again, I go back to the whole thing that not everyone has a computer. They don't know that this is open to them. So I guess what I'm saying is, share information with your neighbors and your family, maybe somebody that doesn't have a computer, because they would be completely shocked to know you could go on Google Earth and look at their front door.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
Now, how
Isn't that
about
crazy? Yeah.
how about the college students or the seniors that just graduate from high school? All of a sudden, they're inundated with these credit card company forms. They say you don't need any pre-authorization, just sign up. You'll have X number of dollars credit, which is true, but they don't realize that once they get all that credit, then if they don't pay it off right away, they're going to get interest and stuff and ruin their credit. So to me, those credit card companies are scammers.
There's a way that you can opt out of receiving those offers. It's very easy. It's an 800 number, and my mailbox has gone down considerably once it does work.
Oh, wow.
So you can certainly opt out of that, so you're not receiving those offers.
Let's see. I have here the information for the book. Colleen Pallamary. Am I saying your name right, Colleen?
Yes, you are.
The book is called Scammunition. Do you have a website?
Yes, I do. It's www.colleenpallamary.com, and I should probably spell it Colleen, P as in Peter, ALLAMARY.com. And I update, have a Scam of the Month feature on there where I cover different things.
Do we get the book through the website, or how do we get the book?
Yes, you can get the book through the website. You can get it through Amazon.com. I also am out and about giving talks. I'm going to be on Top of the World in June at their Master the Possibilities. I'm also waiting for some dates for the Senior Institute at CF. And if you go on my website, you can find out where I am, and I always have my books with me.
By the way, as radio hosts, we become a sort of a buffer between people who want to scam our listeners, and it happens probably more than you realize. And it is us who say, and not just Robin and I, but any hosts who do this kind of thing, who say to the listeners, "Look, I don't know, that one didn't sound real to me," or whatever. Or if somebody comes, there was one time when I just refused. I'm not going to interview you because he had a cure for Alzheimer's. It was a bath oil. You take a bath in his oil. I said, I'm not going to let you say that. I don't believe that. Oh, I got the message from God. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
why don't you take, if God gave it to you for free, why don't you take it for free to a hospital or a nursing home or something?
Right.
And by the way, I'm glad you're talking to different groups. And if you are an activities director with the nursing home, you might want to get Colleen to come over, because I've done that work too. And in that position, I was a kind of a barrier between somebody trying to scam the
buffer.
people. Yeah, they'd come in with these insurance plans and all that, and I'm not saying that they were all fake. I didn't let any of them in. I followed my father's rule: don't trust anybody. If you played the guitar and you could sing some nice songs, you came in. But if you're going to give them a speech about how to invest your money in a new kind of a plan, well, these people have done all that already. They don't need to hear it again. So.
One of the worst things I heard was some folks in an assisted living facility they were getting phone calls from people claiming to be psychics. And they said, if you send in whatever, $50, $100, I will give you messages from your deceased loved ones.
Oh, no.
So they stoop to anything, the scammers. You just really, really need to be on your toes. And you just have to take a minute. Again, social media is such a powerful tool. But again, if you don't have a computer, you're not going to know about it.
Yeah. Well, good for you. You're doing a really good thing. This is a very, very, very good contribution for all of us, and it's national. It's not just local, right?
That's correct. That's correct. I'm trying to get, go out and educate people. That's what it's all, and helping people. That's what it's about for me, is helping people, educate them, and give them some tools to work with.
All right. Hold up the book. We are videotaping this, and this will be on Facebook. There's the camera right there. See, no, right here. Right here, that thing right there. There's the camera. There it
There's
is.
the book.
All right, that's Scammunition. Very clever title.
I like that. A nest egg. I think that's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to
Clever.
figure out a way to get, grab the attention of my audience and my readers who are important to me. I do this because I care.
Yeah, obviously, Colleen. Oh, nice, great conversation. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having
And
me.
I love your T-shirt.
Thank you, Boston Strong.
Love that T-shirt. I
Thank
should have.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Read what it says. Read what it says. Robin.
There's Strong, and then there's Boston Strong.
Yeah, man.
I love that. You
Yeah,
give me
man.
chills.
Let's see. On the WOCA website, if you go to WOCA.com, look at the guest list for AM Ocala Live for today's date, and you will see Colleen's name at the 10:05 slot, and right under her name, her web address, in case you couldn't write it down, ColleenPallamary.com. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you.
We'll take a little break, and we will be right back.
Why are so many Florida residents racing to the Walt Disney World theme parks to rediscover their all-time favorite classic attractions and explore what's new? They got a great deal on the 3-day Discover Disney ticket for just $119 plus tax. And why should you be racing to WOCA.com right now? Because you could win your tickets from the source. So get going. Visit WOCA.com for full details on how to win your 3-day Discover Disney tickets.